What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review, coming out of Long Island, New York. With me today, we got my man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
Yes, sir. Right now, it's just the two of us, Al, you and I tonight. I think B might
Mhm.
be jumping on in a few, but it's a good thing B's not on right now because we're going to talk about Shazam Fury of the Gods tonight. That's the review we're going to give over today because you and I got a chance to watch it on Sunday.
Mhm.
And we're going to get you guys ready for John Wick Chapter 4. So, John Wick Chapter 4 coming out this Thursday, one of the most action packed series I've seen in a long time. And each film has gotten better and better. And the reviews, Al, seem to
Mhm.
be out of this world. So let's get right into the Shazam Fury of the Gods. Let's do a quick non-spoiler review, Al. What was your thoughts on Shazam Fury of the Gods after you left the theater?
It's an entertaining movie. If you go in thinking that, you'll enjoy it. Just don't think about the movie after, because, like me, the more I thought about the movie afterwards, the worse I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, because when we left, I was like, "Oh, that was a cool movie. It was fun. A lot of jokes here and there." The more I thought about the plot, the more I thought about the way the characters were portrayed and so forth. The more I was like, yeah, I didn't like that. So, so if this it turns out to be the last time we see Shazam, it will be for me on a down note because again, there's a lot of humor during the moments. It's funny,
right.
but in hindsight, a lot of it was stupid. There's a major product placement in the movie that I was like, oh Jesus, come on.
Yeah.
Even for a corny movie like this, it was horrible.
Yeah, it definitely was.
But, I was surprised because they got some big name, actors in here. You got Lucy Liu, Helen Mirren, and you have a returning cast and characters from a well-received first movie. And I feel like they went in certain aspects of the main character, they went too far
Hmm.
with half of his portrayal, where they
Right.
seemed to go in a different direction with the other half. Um, the story didn't make sense. To me, there was a lot of holes in the reason why things were happening,
Right.
why they happened, why they were able to happen. So it's a movie where if you just enjoy the humor for what it is, you may have a good experience during the movie. Just like me, I tend to analyze stuff maybe sometimes too much, but
Right.
yeah, a lot of it collapse when you try to think about it a little bit
Or
more than
try to
2
make sense
minutes.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of have a similar experience because when I left the theater, actually, while I was watching the movie, I was saying to myself, these visual effects are crazy. There's, for what we see in the commercials is like a wooden dragon and all these other creatures and different things. And even the Shazam family themselves and doing what they're doing in the film, it looked real, it looked great. I could tell you some of the shots in this movie were better than anything that Marvel has done lately when it comes to CGI and stuff like that. Like very believable CGI, very believable effects on everything that they were doing in this film. The story itself left a lot to be desired for me. I try to make the best of it. I just think that I get not a lot of people know just Shazam villains, but there were villains that were better than the villains that we chose. I don't want to say too much because people who haven't seen this movie may not know about something else that happens in this movie.
Mhm.
But the villains that we're shown, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu, of course, they're unrecognizable characters. They're brand new characters to the DCEU. They're basically mythological gods with changed history. That they made them the daughters of Atlas.
Mhm.
And I just think that I didn't care enough about those villains. Like there was nothing to them. I mean, I wish they would have shown their history, their past to kind of get us to be like, oh, this is why they're upset. This is why they're going after the Shazam family. This is why they're doing whatever it is that they're doing in the real world here. And you can get along with it and kind of like almost see why they're doing what they're doing. Nope, it's just like your run of the mill, like 2000, comic book movie where they're bad guys because they're bad guys. Like that's it. And I really felt like there was something like we're past that point. I think comic book fans. We're past
Mhm.
the point of just looking at, oh shit, Shazam's flying. No, we don't give a shit about them flying. We want to see a good story, heartfelt story. And it does give us that. It does give us a little heart in that movie. There's a part towards the end of the movie where I was like touched by some of the conversations in there.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like, eh, I mean, I saw the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay, more okay. But I think there was a better movie to be made, and I think there was some better characters and better decisions that could have been done.
Yeah.
My overall recommendation to the people who have not seen it, because there's a there's a lot of you who haven't seen it. Trust me, we've seen the numbers. Uh,
Yeah. The
I would tell you guys, it's you don't need to rush to go see it. It is it's a okay comic book story. It's okay film. Again, not a lot of people know about Shazam and the Shazam family. It's a very old comic book and an old character. And I think like you kind of hinted at it, Al. I think what's the guy who plays Shazam again?
Oh, Levy,
Zach
something like
Levy?
Zachary Levy.
Zachary Levy. I think he overdid it with the stupid humor.
Yeah.
Kind of made himself look stupid and sound stupid. And I think he's a little bit smarter than that, or he was smarter than that before in the last episode. Also,
Mhm.
he's getting older. I think in this movie he's supposed to be like around 18 years old or
Yeah.
almost 18. He should know certain things at that age. So
Yeah.
like, so there was a joke in there about him saying something incorrectly, and I was just like, this is stupid.
Mhm.
Can't lie, my eyes closed a couple times during the movie, so it wasn't like completely like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what happens next every second. But yeah, man,
Mhm.
I would tell you guys you can wait for this movie to come out on Blu-ray or on demand. You don't have to rush out to the theater to go see this one.
Yeah.
And those post-credit scenes, Al, there's two of them. I think one of them we're gonna have to have a discussion with James Gunn. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
This is a
And
little unfair, buddy.
yeah, and the aspect of it, like, I think that when you remember the reason why that post-credit scene had to happen is the only reason why I think that person I mean, was still in the movie.
Right.
Otherwise, I think that would have been a result of the upcoming changes as well.
Exactly. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense some of the stuff that they're doing in there. And then another one is just like, okay, are we gonna ever pay that off? But who knows, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
listen, that is my thoughts on it. Al, how about you, man? What's your recommendation on Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
It's just if you're not a theatrical person like we are, we love the theater experience, So for me, like, yo, whatever AMC did to IMAX, keep doing because that was a totally different experience for me for an IMAX movie.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember it looking that good. I don't remember the sound being that great. It rivaled the Dolby experience for me.
yeah.
So if you're a theater experience person, go watch this movie in the theater. I think that added to the enjoyment.
Hmm.
But in terms of having to see it in the theater, not at all. Like,
Not at all,
and
right?
I'm wondering if that's what hurt this is so many people expecting it to come out streaming relatively soon.
Probably, man. And also on top of that, just to also sell it a little bit, the end fight I think was very good. Just so you know, like I don't want to say it sound like I'm just completely like, oh, this movie was a waste of time. It wasn't really a waste of time. It was entertaining and it was okay.
Mhm.
But the one standout is again the visuals of the actual movie and the ending. I think there was a good fight, good battle that and something that happened in there. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
So listen, we're gonna go right into the spoiler section of this review of Shazam: Fury of the Gods now, so that way we can really talk about it because there's things that are not in the trailer that we need to speak of, not including Wonder Woman. I don't know why you put that in the trailers, but I
Yeah.
guess you kind of gotta get as many people in the seats as you can, and didn't work
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. Because there wasn't much rumbling about this movie ahead of time
Yeah, so I
until
think there
then.
was like show 'em Wonder Woman. All right, so listen, let's go right into a full spoiler now, full spoiler review. So people, you have your chance to pause this and come back to us. If not, we're gonna go right into it now. Al, tell me your true thoughts now about like some of the stuff that you saw. Like, what didn't work for you? What could have made this movie better for you?
Well, their whole attempt was very weak in everything about the plot. Like,
Hmm.
you have these three sisters. You really sell the Lucy Liu Helen character. What was it, Calypso? And I forget.
Calypso and Cespera or I
Yeah,
forget the
something like
other
that.
one.
So you always you show them a lot, but you don't really show that there's a third sister. And to me, it was cheesy because once you have her show up as a new girl in school, she meets the kid and she's like, "Oh yeah, my sister is very controlling. Oh, and tell me, oh, you're the guy that knows Shazam. Oh, show me what." Like it was real obvious that to me she was involved with the other two.
Mm,
Um, you know the, the way they developed the characters, like we said, all the other characters, like all the other family members, show growth. They show some form of development from the last movie. Shazam and Billy Batson, they seem the same.
yeah.
And to your point, it's supposed to be a few years to the point where he's about to age out of foster care, and that becomes a big issue of supposedly what's driving his character is he's afraid of losing them. So that's
Mhm.
why he always goes, "We all respond," or "No one responds."
Right.
And but yet the kid, you see him carrying the weight of that. But when he's Shazam, he's acting like he's 5 years old.
Mhm.
Like you said, he sees the name of Solomon on the wisdom of Solomon on the list, and he says Solo Man. And then even later in the movie, he says Sauron. Like for some reason, he has the inability to remember a name. Like they went over the top with some of those aspects in order to make Shazam seem goofy or comical. Or I don't
Right.
know if they were really trying to have him be the comic relief. But to me, they should have played on the interaction between him and the brother, and used that exchange like they did in the first one as the comic relief.
Mhm.
Not them alone, not them being goofy, but their banter. Let that be the comic relief because they had great like comedic banter back and forth in the
They
first one.
did in the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This one they should have played off that and let it just develop even further. Um, I feel like the brother's character carried the movie somewhat for me because he
Mhm.
was the one that had the most interesting plot points. He had the love interest. He, lost his powers and was trying to, as himself, steal the apple and do things like that. So,
Be
like,
the
I feel
hero
like
still without the power, right? Mhm.
exactly. So, I felt like they had too much of a pivot from Shazam. And then,
Mhm.
then they had to go back to Shazam later and again make him the hero by stripping the powers from all the others. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like the more I think about this movie, the more I find that I didn't like about how they executed it. You have Helen Mirren's character seems to be the leader, yet she doesn't recognize that her sister, who they've been around like thousands and decades of thousands of years,
Mhm.
you don't see how she's being like, we can read it, but she can't. Like, I don't know, like, and not only that, and then the dragon, the part that bothered me was, she turns, supposedly, from what I surmised right there when they were talking about what to do with the apple and how to use it. And then, she turns on the sister there. If they all control the dragon, why did the dragon kill the sister?
Yeah.
So that's what it's like. There's things in this for the movie to work that they needed to explain, and they didn't even hint to an
Didn't
explanation
even
for it.
care. Just kept
Yeah,
moving.
they were like, "Oh, it'll be cool if the dragon kills her." But why would the dragon kill her? The dragon was obedient. So the more I think of the movie, there's more plot points that I'm like, that doesn't make sense that would happen.
Yeah.
And even to the big thing at the end, like it's like I think I even asked you, how did they get there? Like because if supposedly if there's no gods, then it doesn't explain how they got there in the first place. You know,
Right,
let
they're all
alone
it doesn't make any sense unless the wizard got him there or whatever.
yeah, but even he couldn't do it.
Right,
Remember,
no
he
more
couldn't
magic.
even yeah, he couldn't get himself over there.